Dear respected sir, Dr. Kukan Vipai, I'm JAIMIT Rathod, and my student ID is YEG3034, and I'm here to present and for my video presentation of my corporate accounting individual assignment, and the assignment title is Issues in Cash Flow Statement. As you can see, issues in cash flow statement, it means that there are so many problems to understand the cash flow statement. So here is my presentation. So as we go to the next slide, there is introduction. It means this presentation is all about the two concepts of corporate accounting, and it mainly focus on one of the concept, which is cash flow statement. The statements help us to find out the best company amongst the three company, which makes it easier for the investor to make the right decision. It means that this is very simple way to explain. As we go to the next slide, there are two concepts. It means it's income statement and cash flow statement. As you can see in this slide, income statement means to know the financial performance during the financial year is known as income statement. As per the main purpose of the income statement to find out profit and loss during the financial year, the income statement is prepared based on the accounting convention of conservatives, and income statement includes, this is the main point, income statement includes operating and non-operating expenses and operating and non-operating incomes. And as we can see, the cash flow statement is means it is statement showing sources and uses of cash. It includes cash flows from operating activities, cash flows from financial activities. The main purpose of preparing cash flow statement is to find out surplus or deficit cash position of a company during the financial year. Cash flow statement is prepared based on actual cash realized and incurred. As you can see in this slide, income statement benefits to investor. It means company's financial, it based on company's financial performance, profit and loss position of the company, trends in company's expenditure and incomes, earnings, earnings per share of the company, and trends in revenue growth. So this is the benefits to the investor. Okay, so as we move forward to the next slide, cash flow statement benefits for investors. So it enables investors to use the information about last year cash flow of a company for projects of future cash flow on which the investor's decision can be made. So this is the main point. And cash flow statement indicates the changes in the balance sheet and helps in enhancing the cash flow statements activities such as operating, investing, and financial activity. So it provides an understanding of the liquidity and solvency of a company, which is important for the performance and growth of any firm. So if, as you can see, it reveals the financial position of an entity during a period. It helps in providing information related to the cash generating skills of entities' core activities. So it also helps to the shareholders and investors. So as you can see here, this is the BHP Limited cash flow statement, and in this slide there is a Santos Limited cash flow statement, and in this slide there is a Fantastic Limited cash flow statement. As move forward to, this is an examination of cash flow statement for each company. There are 9 points. First one is major sources of the cash uses. So in this major sources of the cash uses, BHP Limited has sale of onshore divestment of 15,813 in 2019, and in 2018 and in 17 they have received dividend income and interest income. And in this second company, Santos Limited, the company's major cash flows are receipts from customers and drawdown borrowings in 2019 and 2018. And in the third company, Fantastic Limited, the company's major cash flows are received from customer, share issues, and proceeds from borrowings in 2019 and 2018. As we go, the second point is the trend in cash flow from continuing operations from each firm. As you can see here, in BHP Limited, Santos Limited, and in Fantastic Limited, there are differences. So as we can see in BHP Limited, cash flow from beginning continuing operations are substantially negative in 2019, and in 2018 and 17 it's slightly positive, means it's going up, not down. As we can see in Santos Limited in 2019, the cash flow from continuing operations is slightly negative and slightly positive in 2018 and 17. So it will be good in for Santos Limited. In Fantastic Limited in 2019, cash flow from continuing operation is slightly negative and slightly positive in 2018 and 17, basically same as Santos Company. So in this trend in cash flows, Santos and Fantastic Limited are going up. As we go to the next slide, this is the third point, the ability of the firms to make payments of its capital expenditure. So for BHP Limited, the company cash from operations is greater than capital expenditures incurred during respective years. Santos Limited, the company cash flow from operations is greater than expenditure incurred during the respective years. Fantastic Limited, the company has not incurred any capital expenditure, further indicates cash is generated to meet capital expenditure. As per the fourth point, cash flow from operations cover the dividend payment by the firms. As for the BHP Limited, indicates cash generated as dividends paid are on the higher side. For the Santos Limited, inadequate cash generated as dividends paid are on the higher side. And for the Fantastic Limited, no dividends will be paid. So this is for the other three companies and for the dividend. As we go to the next point, number 5, excess cash user, and if not, then payment for capital expenditure and or dividends. For BHP Limited, divestment in US supported cash flows for payments and dividend paid. For Santos Limited, the company receipts from customers were utilized for the repayments of borrowings and payments to suppliers and employees. And for Fantastic Limited, the company has the same receipts and payment as Santos Limited has. So as you can see, this is the three companies comparison. If we go to the next point, number 6, major items affected cash flow. So for the BHP Limited, capital expenditures, royalty payments, depreciation, dividends paid affected cash flow statements. For Santos Limited, receipts and payments to customer and suppliers, oil and gas assets, repayments and borrowing. For Fantastic Limited, item affected cash flow for this company is same as the Santos Limited. So for the Santos Limited and the Fantastic, they both are the same. Okay. So as we can see, the next point is the trend in capital expenditures. So as you can see, for the BHP Limited, the trend is increase each year. It was 3274, 5060 and 7377 in 2017, 2018 and 2019 respectively. As I will show you as I will show you in the next slide. So as you can see, so for the next point is trend in dividend. For BHP Limited, increasing trend in each succeeding year. For the Santos Limited, it is also has an increasing trend as BHP Limited. For the Fantasy Limited, no dividends are paid for the company. So this is the point which is described, which that companies have to give dividends. Okay, so this is the trend in dividend. So as we go through the next point, last point is trend in net borrowing. So for the BHP Limited, continuous repayment in each succeeding year as no new borrowing raised. For Santos Limited, net increase in repayment borrowings in 2019, in 2018, net increasing in raising borrowings. For the Fantastic Limited, the company has the same trend as well as the Santos Limited is having. So these are the 9 points. So as we go to the next slide, and we can see that financial strength of each firms. So for the BHP Limited, good 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 position due to less decreased trend in the cash flow. For the Santos Limited, it's poor position, and for the Fantasy Limited, poor too, because as we as I described to the further slides, that for the BHP Limited, the net cash flow is going up and it is the good, But for the Santos and Fantastic Limited, the cash flow statement is going down, so it's not good for the company. So that's why BHP Limited is on good position, Santos Limited is on poor position, and the Fantastic Limited is also on the poor position. So here is the select for lending purposes. The company who is generating more cash from operating activities than the financial activities will be the best for the lending purpose to be selected by investors, as it will be serving more day-to-day cash with the less finance added in the company's activity. So as you can see, this is the purpose for the all three companies for the lending purposes. As we move forward to the last and the conclusion, so this presentation helps us to understand the cash flow statement easily and makes our decision making process faster, because we don't have to see the whole big financial report of the company. So easily we can compare the forms together and make decision based on that